I am not about to let the fact that there's nothing to talk about get in the way of our lunchtime video. I can tell you that much. So I've been trawling through all the regular places, looking for something to talk about. There was a tap-in. Moyes wants rid of Rice. You can see the thumbnail, can't you? I looked at the article. I don't think he actually said it, though. He does say, would have been a tap-in. Would have probably been able to talk about that for 10 minutes, but I don't think it's true. Well, at least... Would he? Yes, probably. If we stayed up, would he? No. If we went down, yeah. But it was just Moyes. Whatever manager we had, probably have to sell Declan Rice. He's an England international now. It's a non-story. So, what I have done is I've had a look at your comments, and in particular, your comments with regard to yesterday's video about Manchester City and how it impacts West Ham. It attracted a little bit more interest, I thought, to be fair. A lot of people that don't seem to be particularly happy with UEFA, and particularly in light of what West Ham could do were a rich benefactor to come in, take us over, and want to take us to the next level. And it's prompted some quite creative responses, actually. Let's deal with Frank first. Frank Handsome. He has left a comment which basically says that he likes the Red Bull model. He thinks that maybe a rich owner would come in, redevelop the stadium. I think he might even just mean Red Bull. So please excuse me, Frank, if I'm quoting you inaccurately here. But he thinks to develop our training ground, our facilities, the stadium, and take us to a club on par with Leicester. Now, I hear what you're saying, Frank. I just don't think it's incentive enough for anybody to do it. First of all, I can't see just yet, basically, the taxpayer, the mayor's office, whatever you want to call it, handing over the stadium. Just cannot see that happening at all. They will still see that there is some value there. Now, granted, the stadium is losing 20 million a year. I think at the moment, is it sustainable? Well, no, 20 million a year is not sustainable. Will they sustain it? Yes, I think they will. Because at the moment, they still see something that they probably think is worth, I don't know, 200, 300, 400 million, something like that. What is that? They think, what is Spurs? Cost $1 million to build? Even though ours is nothing like Tottenham's, they will still consider it to be worth that value. So, they're not just going to give it away. Then if somebody comes in, you talk about Red Bull, for instance, for them to make it football worthy, let's say, number one, they're going to have to sweeten the deal. They're going to have to move UK Athletics. So they need to give UK Athletics a new home. UK Athletics, of course, paid into the stadium. I think they probably paid more into the stadium than we did. Let's be fair on that one. So UK Athletics need a new home. To turn it into a football stadium? At least 200 million, I reckon. About 200, 300 million quid. Now you think they're probably going to have bought the stadium for that. The moment you do that, you look at actually 600 million down already without having redeveloped the Crystal Palace Athletic Stadium, which is probably what they have to do. And then they've got to redo the training, and I just don't think it's very attractive. Now, that's with it being the Red Bull model. What about somebody who's super rich? What about Bill Gates suddenly gets interested in football? The Sultan of Brunei, somebody like that. What's the point in buying West Ham? We've already discussed yesterday that financial fair play because of that, we can't propel ourselves any higher up. Is anybody going to buy West Ham just to be mid-table? No, they're not. So I think, in many respects, we're stuck with what we got. Now, that's depressing for you, isn't it? I think the whole model, funny enough, I think the idea of taking the stadium, of buying the club, of selling Upton Park, of flipping the stadium, and us being in the Olympic Stadium to make us attractive to potential buyers, it's backfired, because I actually think the stadium is exactly what's going to put people off buying us. There we go. Who knows? I don't know. So anyway, that was Frank. I'm sorry to poo-poo on your suggestion there, Frank. Maybe, I'm sure many will disagree with me. We got another message from Christopher. Now, Christopher has said, Guardiola has just stated that he will stay at Man City. A big laughing face. He's done a big laughing face as Christopher. Now, that is in response to me saying in yesterday's video that Guardiola will leave if they don't have Champions League football and they get forced to be relegated. But apparently, Guardiola has come out and said he's staying. Well, I've got Christopher, he would say that, wouldn't he? That's exactly what Guardiola would say. Whether he was staying or leaving, that's what he would say. Because the alternative would probably go along the lines of Guardiola sitting in a press conference and the journalist sitting there in front of him saying, Pep, quick question, Pep, if I may. The club have fallen foul of UEFA financial fair play regulations. You're looking at a 2-year European ban, and the Premier League are yet to rule on your situation. It could well be that you get relegated down to League 2. Will you remain at Manchester City? And Pep turning around and saying, nah, I am off. I'm gone. I'm out of here. Quite frankly, I don't even know why I'm sat here in this press conference talking to you. If City can just pay up my wages in full now, I'll just be gone. Me and Raheem, that's driving, by the way, we're off. He's not going to say that. Of course he's going to say I'm staying. We'll have a look. All will be revealed after their appeal. That's it. If the appeal fails, he's gone. I'm telling you. There's no way he's staying around. He's going to be here in 2 years' time or however long his contract is. It ain't gonna happen. So, we got another comment, and this comment, I do apologise. This comment is from, can you see? It just says try. I can't read anymore. It won't expand it. What is his name? Try? Tricky? Triver? I don't know. Anyway, so try, and I do apologise. I can't expand. I can't read your name. Try has said, couldn't you just buy a load of property, give it to the club, and rent out the property for extra income? Try? Sorry, I do apologise. Sounds weird calling you that, my friend. That's exactly the type of thing that got Manchester City into trouble in the first place, mate. That's exactly the sort of naughtiness. You don't do tax avoidance, do you, by any chance? Try there. He wants to buy property and then just give the profits to the club. Now, I'm not saying you can't do something with property. So, for instance, Arsenal were quite clever in the way that they redeveloped Highbury and they got some property out of that. Well, that's a lot more transparent, isn't it? Because it is actually the property that's on site at the time. I think you'll find Chelsea did it. Ken Bates did it when he redeveloped with the hotel there. He built a hotel. So the income from the hotel is obviously that of the football club. I think you'll find Tottenham have also done it. But I'm pretty sure what you can't do and what won't be allowed were to buy some lovely thatched cottages in the Cotswolds, rent them out as holiday lets, and then give all the money to West Ham. I just don't think you can do it. Now, the clever thing to do would have been, let's just say for a second, we used to have a stadium and we knocked that stadium down and then we built some flats on it. Then what we could do is we could then sell those flats, say half the flats, take a massive increase in revenue for that, and then the other half of the flats, maybe we could then rent out. That would be a legitimate income. That would be a legitimate income stream, I'm pretty sure, for the club. If only such an opportunity had presented itself. Alas, unfortunately not. I've got something else as well. I've had another suggestion. I always ask you for suggestions for videos. This is from Mark Redman. Now, as I say, yesterday I suggested that maybe City wouldn't be as fully motivated as they might be. Maybe it was a better time to play them. That was a video. In the comments, Mark Redman has said, talk about clutching at straws. I've got to be honest with you, Mark. I could talk about most things. And I could talk about most things for about 10 minutes, which is what we try and do for these videos. But I've had a look. There's just not much to say, Mark, to be perfectly honest with you. Plastic ones, paper ones, how do you clutch them? Right hand, left hand? I don't know, mate. I've got to be honest with you. I have seen far better suggestions for videos than just me talking about clutching at straws, so I'm going to leave it. And just finally, when I started doing these videos, I never quite expected that anybody would overly comment on what I was wearing. So I've got this lovely question from A. Higgs. A. Higgs. Alan, Adam, Andrew, Anthea. Might be a lady. Maybe that's why. And so anyway, so A. Higgs has said, why are you wearing a bobble hat? Now this question puzzled me. Why am I wearing a bobble hat? Why is A. Higgs asking why I'm wearing a bobble hat? Well, I thought it's got to be specifically this hat, isn't it? Because this is the one I was wearing. This was when I did the Ray Winston video. I was wearing this hat. Oh, why? Why? Because if it was a general question, the question would be, why would anybody wear a hat? There's different questions that you might be cold. You're losing your hair. I don't know. You're trying to hide a disaster. Maybe a hairdresser, an accident. I don't. But it's not that. It was, why are you wearing a bobble hat? So I can only assume that A. Higgs doesn't like bobble hats. So, in the interest of just being inclusive and trying to involve everybody that is kind enough to watch these completely terrible videos, particularly when I've got nothing to talk about, I thought Andrew, Anthea, Alan, Andrew, I've said Andrew, Alex, I thought I'd give you a few options. Okay? We know you don't like the bobble hat. The bobble hat is gone. We've got some more options for you. Football-based cap. Do you like it? Any good? I'm guessing you don't like this one on account of the bobble, because I think it's bobbles is your thing that's bothering you. But I just wondered if the tassels, did they make it any better for you? This is a cap from the NBA Finals. My mate Dwayne in the States. He sent me this, amongst other things. Pilot's hat. You've got to like, this is proper sheepskin. This is the real deal, this hat. This when this is like, I mean, this is, what about this one? Do you like this one, Alan? King cap. A king, you see, king. I've got the full king going on. King cap? Alex, this one is from Cuba. I think it's a good hat. I like this hat. And finally, Andrea, we've got my match day cap. I'm just hoping that there is something within the collection that you like and that you approve of. Quite frankly, you've made me a little bit paranoid now. Whatever you do, do not comment on my jumper.